ready for fan-driven Razorback talk. For the fans, by the fans. This is Inside the Hawg Pen with your hosts, Razorback Zach and Marcus MC Carlton. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday night, and you know, Inside the Hawg Pen. I am your host, as always, Razorback Zach from the Central Arkansas Hawg Pen, joined by my buddy, my co-host, and high critic of one War Memorial Stadium, Marcus MC Carlton, holding it down in the NEA. What's up, MC, besides your blood pressure from being inside the stadium?
No, man, I've calmed down now, but I'm not sure what was. Well, we'll get into that in a little bit.
We bringing the smoke. Bringing the smoke. When you hear this,
let me talk to you.
You know it's about to go down.
Oh, I don't know. Do I need to sit down and cross my legs before I start talking tonight?
No, man, we've got a big show. This is our first 2-hour event of the season. We're trying something a little different here. We appreciate everybody hanging with us. We pulled an Arkansas Razorback football team and changed the time at the last minute. Blame that one on me, y'all. Don't blame that one on Pitt. Got a lot to talk about. And here's the thing. I want you guys to share the hell out of this thing because I want the smoke. Bring me the smoke about your experience at War Memorial Stadium. I want to hear it because I don't want to play no more. That's another time. But share it. I want your friends involved. I want your family involved. I want your family's friends involved. So bring me all the smoke. We're going to go 2 hours tonight. It's not all be about War Memorial Stadium, but it'll be a majority of it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I got a lot of feedback, and we're going to get into it later on in the show. But before we do, while you're watching, give us a 5-star review, not a 4-star. Give us a 5-star here on the Sideline Radio Network, and a recommendation, and this new thing called stars or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I still hadn't figured it out. I don't know.
It's something to help us out, an algorithm, and hell, I don't know. But by the way, if you haven't yet. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather. There was a bad freaking storm that rolled through about a couple of hours ago, and it knocked out power for about 13,000 people here in Central Arkansas. And it's screwing with my allergies. But if you haven't yet, go over to Hawg Sports on Facebook, HOGSPORTS on Facebook. Like, follow, join, subscribe, whatever they got going on over there. Matt Hart, Adam Hall do a fantastic job. They are pushing 20,000 members. And if you want to be the first to know insider info, that's the place to be.
That's your place, man. They have all the info. And here's the thing I like about it. They are more concerned with being correct and accurate than being the first one to just randomly throw something out there.
Yep.
And as an old journalism guy, that does my heart good because that's what I was taught back in the Stone Age when I was in college learning about journalism and ethics and all that. So follow those guys because ethics. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. How things have changed, huh? But they actually have some breaking news over there today in regards to what they first put out yesterday on Rocket and Rashad Dubinion. Yep. Which we'll probably get into that a little later on, too.
We will. Before we jump into the Western Carolina recap, I have what we like to call here at Inside the Hawg Pen 4 downs for you, plus a timeout. Trust me, you're going to love this. So your first one is under – easy there, MC.
Yeah.
Under Sam Pittman.
At the bit.
MC, did you know that under Sam Pittman, the Hogs are 13-0 when they win the turnover battle?
I did not.
Now, here's the other flip side to that. They're 9-0 when they get 3 or more takeovers under Sam Pittman. Here's another one. Did you know that the Hogs have scored consecutive 50 points 50 points consecutively in 2 consecutive games since 2015.
Yeah, first time since 15. Wow.
Time since 15. By the way, I see you guys on the Harris Made Chef Services live fan feedback. We're going to get to all of your comments tonight. Yep. All of them, because I want the smoke. Back to your Did You Know moments. Arkansas has the nation's best turnover margin coming out of week 1 with 5 takeaways. Nation's best, which means our defense is number 1 in the turnover margin. How's that?
Already a better start than last year.
How's that? I mean, KJ is now second all-time in touchdown responsibility. He is 6 away from taking over Matt Jones with the all-time leader in touchdown responsibility. With a win this weekend. We're going to get into that for Kent State. Arkansas's win over Western Carolina was the largest margin of victory under Sam Pittman ever with 43 points. So already, Dan Enos making a statement coming out of week 1 already. So let's jump right into this. And before we do, MC's got a little present. And y'all got to see this. This is the coolest thing. But there's one point in here that I want to make coming out of this video. I'm going to see if you guys figure it out. Here it is. This is his video from the stadium Saturday afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to welcome to the field the Arkansas cheerleaders, Hawg squad, mascots, and the best.
Let's go! Keep your hand out there, bud. Put your hand, there you go. Put your hand out. Let's go, coach.
Are you ready for some football? Who's ready for some Arkansas Razorback football? Now, entering Razorback Stadium here at War Memorial Stadium, please, these are your Arkansas.
That was awesome. Now, there's a reason I wanted to show that video. It started off. We were going to play it during the break, going into the break, but I wanted to smoke. There's a point in that video where it just didn't seem right to me. When in the hell have they ever called War Memorial Stadium Razorback Stadium at War Memorial Stadium? What in the what?
Well, and I didn't even catch that until I showed you this video in our little pre-show talk that we have. You know, I was showing Zach the video for the first time, and I didn't even notice it. And I edited that today, and I've looked at the video 2 or 3 times since Saturday. Never noticed that they said that. So he caught something there that I didn't catch, and I got to throw this in there real quick. So the piece of the video that had all the little boys in it down there getting high fives from the team and stuff. Every one of those kids was in my group. It was my 2 boys. 2 of my nephews were in that group. And then the other kids were teammates of my oldest son, baseball teammates. So we were all right there in the same section, and they all went down there. And it was pretty cool to be that close. And I got to throw a big shout out to Miss Lisa, the Razorback queen of the NEA up here, because it's because of her that all those kids got to go to a Razorback game on Saturday. So, we've got a lot that we're going to say about the logistical issues of War Memorial Stadium and the game. But from that perspective right there, that's the good stuff. That I wanted to show that that I'm not just an old man yelling at the cloud sourpuss, that I did have a good time. So
no, you know what? I'll leave that one alone. No, and so I was in Fort Smith at a watch party, and from the minute the gates opened, my phone started to light up about the conditions of the stadium, about how long the lines were. And so I put out on Facebook, and some of you guys commented, thank you very much. We're about to jump completely off into this. And none of it was good. None of it was good. So let's start off with getting into the stadium. Okay? Start off in the parking lot. Apparently, LRPD's got their head shoved up their butt because a lot of people were complaining that they had parking passes for a specific lot, but the cops that were, helping park people and all this weren't letting them park.
Yeah, I know that a couple people that were we had a group of about 20 that went, and a couple people had some parking issues. My car did not. This was actually, out of all the games I've been to, from the first game I went to in War Memorial back in 19 through
I'm sorry,
Saturday.
What was that again?
1989.
My audio cut out there for a minute.
Yeah, 1989. From 1989. Shut up. All the way to Saturday. As far as getting into, we parked on the golf course.
Okay.
Not my decision, but it ended up working out really well. From the time it took us to get into the golf course, back to the back 40 of the golf course where they parked us, and then up to get into line to the stadium, the whole process 35-40 minutes, and that's from when we pulled off of 630 onto Fair Park Boulevard. So that line always backs up right there. From the time that I stopped moving on 630 until I got my car parked and we got out and started walking and walked up to our gate was probably, I don't know, it was 35-40 minutes. Not bad at all.
But typical parking at a Razorback game, even in Fayetteville. It takes you a minute, depending on what time you get there.
Sure.
When Chef James Harris, who by the way sponsors my trips to Fayetteville, thank you, Chef James Harris, for all you do for Inside the Hog Pen. But when we go up, I try to we try to get up there a little bit early. Now we've got a parking pass, and we like to tailgate, but we try to get up there a little bit early.
Yeah.
Just to kind of beat the traffic. But the next, you have that issue, okay? Then you have the ticket scanners. We all told you guys 2-3 weeks ago that they're starting this changeover, that the QR codes isn't going to work, that they're now charging you to print off your tickets. They are now charging to print those tickets off.
Right.
Okay? And you don't even scan them at the gate?
Well, the scanners, the gate I went through, the scanners were not working. So it wasn't that they didn't want to scan them; it's that they couldn't.
Most of the comments on our Facebook page, and even through Hawg Sports, where I put the other post, they were saying that they were just letting people in. They were not even scanning or checking. They were just
looking. What they did with us. So since our tickets were from a giveaway, we actually had old school paper tickets.
Okay.
Like you see the stub. You can probably see it hanging up here on my wall. We had those. So I had them out, had them ready, and they weren't even attempting to scan it. It's just like, okay, here, let's just keep people moving. Just keep people moving. So any Tom, Dick, and Harry that wanted to get in line, they weren't saying, hey, let me see your tickets. Because I didn't even have to show them.
So I have to ask then, where did they get the 44,000 number at? Was that
good? Yeah.
Was that ticket sold, or was that actually butts in the seats? Because
my understanding is that is the number of tickets that were distributed. Distributed meaning free tickets like what I got too. But here's my thing with it. And this was brought up on the radio today. There is a contract that says if War Memorial falls below 47,000 on tickets distributed, then they are in breach of contract. So,
really,
yeah, if you're gonna fudge the numbers a little bit, don't you need to fudge them to the point of 47,001 so you can meet your, what you're supposed to meet? But I mean, you saw in that video there right before Arkansas took the field in the hog call,
right.
You could see I was in the north end zone, so I was in the northwest corner, the northeast corner, and the southeast corner. Those two sections there were pretty sparse.
Let's jump over to the Harris Mid-Chef Services live fan feedback. Oh, I got to be on my best behavior. My daughter's in the house tonight.
Yep.
That's
Keep it PG-13.
That's not going to happen, and she knows that. But what's up, kiddo? Did you get your homework done if you have any? D-Mad's in the house. He'll be joining us shortly to talk about his experience. I had a whole crew out there. I was the only one from our staff.
Yeah, he's the only one not there.
Only one there. Other than that, everybody else was there. I know.
I was trying to get hooked up with D-Mad. We had made plans to kind of meet up, and because I've never met him face to face, just through shows and phone calls and such.
Bad judgment on my call, right?
And we were going to meet up, and my phone overheated, so I couldn't get messages from anybody. I got to do this real quick, Zach. So I have to issue an apology to Mama Casey because I had talked to her leading up to that game all week. I was like, hey, we're going to get here around this time. I'll find you or you can find me or whatever, because Casey had asked, she's like, hey, could you take a minute and just come over and say hi? Absolutely. Had it on my plan and everything. And then my phone overheated, so I got no messages until we got back in the car when we left the game and my phone cooled down. So, Mama Casey, I am so sorry that I didn't get a chance to meet you, shake your hand, hug your neck, but we will make that happen. I promise you. So
now,
there you go.
Johnny Phillips, if you're still watching, Johnny Phillips, I want to ask you to go into a little bit more detail as to your experience.
Yeah, I would.
Because you're the first person that I've seen that actually has a positive statement about their experience at War Memorial. Brad Staten, Brad State, we're gonna skip over that one. James Harris, Chef James Harris says, let's jump right into Rocket out for 2 weeks. We're gonna jump into that a little bit later. It may be precautionary, James, but yes, you are correct. He will be out for 2 weeks.
He's probably not playing Saturday.
It's the reason why. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Sam Jones, our boy Sam Jones. I like my journalism. Shoot first, aim later, like Feinbaum and Arkansas media. Richard Wright in the house. Good friend of the show. Says lots of folks talked about our lack of running game. I believe they focused on Rocket and it opened up the passing game, I think he means.
Yeah.
Sometimes running opens up the passing as opposed to the other way around. And he's got a point.
He's spot on there
he's got
from
a point.
what I saw. Yeah.
Stephen G from our YouTube channel from the Hall of Fame Mafia. Another great show.
All right.
Another great show that I got to be on last week. Very good show. If you guys go check them out and give them a like. From the Hall of Fame Mafia, just thought I'd give you a like and another follower. Appreciate you, Steve.
We appreciate that.
Brad Staten once again says, I live in Colorado now, but I am old. I hate the digital tickets. I'm a pretty simple guy. Well, that's what you get for joining the Air Force. Sorry.
Woo.
Sorry.
Heat off of that one like I'm back in the stadium.
Let's go. Let's continue this experience of War Memorial and the conditions of War Memorial. I was getting reports like some of these from our Facebook page. Justin Ashmore said it was a good turnout, but not enough water. Every line that was selling water was selling out quickly because people were buying 6 to 8 bottles at a time. Once I would get to the front of the line, they would be sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's my question. Did you move up the game time 6 days before kickoff? Which, again, Chloe, close your ears. Shit happens. Okay, I get that. But you can't tell me that 2 degrees was going to make any kind of difference. Not to mention, that stadium is like an oven.
Yes, it is.
Okay, it's 75 years old. 75 years. It's made out of that plastic, stucco, weird concrete stuff. Okay? You pack 55,000 people in there like sardines, which you are literally overlapping shoulders.
You're sitting like this.
For all of us guys that are over 5'5" and have broad shoulders, it's not comfortable. So that you can't tell me that the heat was the reason that they moved that game up, because wasn't it hotter at noon than it was at 3? I mean, what?
Well, okay, technically no, because once we got in the stadium, they opened the gates at 10:30, 90 minutes before. From 10:30 until about 11:55, it was actually tolerable because we had cloud cover. The cloud cover made it tolerable. Now, once the game actually kicked off, the clouds parted. You know, they would come back intermittently, but for the most part, you were basically like a piece of bacon in an iron skillet, man. You were just frying.
So you're telling me at kickoff that the clouds parted, the heavens opened, and they said "Woo Pig Sooie"?
There you go. Maybe that's what it was, but it was. I mean, when the clouds were, and they would intermittently come back throughout till about, I don't know, till a little bit after halftime, and then they just completely disappeared, and there were no more clouds.
Well, and I just, the thing about it is again, and I know it's been talked to death, all right? But if you know you're going to have a giant crowd for a Razorback game, wouldn't you be a little bit more prepared?
Well, okay, so I have so many different ways I could go with this here.
Take off.
But here's part of my old man rant on my experience. Okay, a week or so before this game was in Little Rock, you had the Salt Bowl, Benton and Bryant. It's played at War Memorial every year to accommodate a large crowd. It's probably one of the most attended high school games in the state all year long, every year. I have read from multiple people on Facebook, now consider the source Facebook, but these people claim they were at the Salt Bowl. They were talking about, Brad, that's the first one that come to my mind, buddy. So, you know, it is what it is. I was frying like a piece of bacon, though. But they ran out of drinks at the Salt Bowl. They had concession stands that were running out of drinks at the Salt Bowl. Would that not be as close to a dress rehearsal as you could get for a Razorback game?
For those that don't know, the Salt Bowl is Benton and Bryant High School here in Saline County. It's the biggest high school football game in the state. All right. So big they have to have it at War Memorial Stadium. So big that the day of the Salt Bowl, you could come through Saline County and nobody's here. All right. I've lived here for 5 years. Ain't nobody here on the day of the Salt Bowl.
I mean, it probably draws what, 15, 20,000 people?
They had, now again, I haven't seen actual numbers from the Salt Bowl this year, but I've heard that they had 22 to 25,000 people at that game. That's a heck of a lot of people for a high school game.
For a high school game in Arkansas, that's insane.
All right. Now, people in Texas are like, that's cute.
Yeah.
But again, you've done this for damn near 70 years. Okay. You should think, and of course, War Memorial Stadium, or the Parks of Tourism and Heritage.
It's Parks, Tourism, and Heritage is the department who is actually in charge of the stadium.
You have their comment that they made, the statement that they made, right? You have that pulled up?
Yeah, I've got that.
Here,
let me get that.
Listen to what they say. Listen to what they say. And while he's doing that, we're going to run through the Harris Made Chef Services live fan feedback. Matt Hart, we've got Hawg royalty in the house.
Oh, the man himself.
And then we've got a new fan, Carolyn Williams, aka Razorback Girl, in the house. She can run circles around both of us, MC, when it comes to Razorback knowledge, dude. She can run circles around both of us. Steven, go ahead, man.
Well, I was just going to say, we got this statement pulled up.
Let me take the banner down.
Laura Monteverde, I hope I didn't butcher your last name. She's the one that posted this, but the quote is actually from Shay Lewis, who is Secretary of the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism. And I'm not going to read this verbatim. I'm going to kind of skip through it. You know, it starts out with an opening line about how great and hosting Razorback games is in Little Rock, 75 years, blah, 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 blah. And then about halfway through the second paragraph, it starts in and says, like any large-scale event, issues did arise. but the department's command center alerted each one appropriately, and staff addressed those issues in real time. That is as bold-faced of a lie as what comes out of the press secretary at the White House. Okay?
I mean,
Because that I saw, and then the next line in the final paragraph, the department says concession stands ran out of bottles of water right before the fourth quarter. The closest concession stand to where I was at in section 34 ran out right after halftime.
okay, so let's stay on that real quick. Okay, let's stay on that real quick, because what I've been hearing is that the water that was, I guess, found by fans in the cooling stations in the water bottle refill areas, which, by the way, they said, hey, you can have a water refill station, but you can't have. Well, we don't have the bottles for it.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Nobody,
they wouldn't allow you to bring any bottles in.
But see, that's the thing. Apparently, that rule changed, and nobody's told anybody.
My sister-in-law tried to go to the restroom to take paper towels, wet paper towels, and then let some of the boys put it on their heads or whatever.
I even heard the water coming out of the sink was boiling hot.
The water coming out of the sink was so hot that she couldn't wet paper towels with it. So how does that help anything? Yeah, you've got water, but it is bath water hot. You're not doing any good. And I mean, I cracked up the first time I read this statement, first time I saw it, because I know exactly what happened around me. We had one of the moms in our group. She went to the concession stand before the end of the first quarter trying to find water. She did not make it back to her seat until we were about 2 minutes away from third quarter kickoff. And she didn't have any water. No. And then I had another mother that went up there, got all the way up and waited in line this whole time, over a full quarter's worth of the game, standing in line, waiting, gets up there. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, our card reader doesn't work. We're only accepting cash. So here's what she had to do, because she's like, well, I'm not getting out of line. I've stood here for 45 minutes. I'm not getting out of line. She cash apped the dude next to her so she could go ahead and buy the water that she had stood in line for 45 minutes to get, because the damn card readers didn't work.
See, for me, that's too much.
And I mean, it's just even the smallest little things. When we got in the gate, I immediately went to the first concession stand I saw. Because I had 5 people in my vehicle that I was responsible for. I got 5 waters, 5 hot dogs. Okay. Now, at 10:45 or whatever time it was we got in there, the waters were cold. I'll give them that. The waters were cold. The hot dogs were hot. This is a minor deal, but this tells you the mindset of the concession stands. Hang on. I got to get this out, because this is going to blow your mind. So I've got 5 waters. I've got 5 hot dogs. I got 2 hands. So I'm looking around a concession stand. I'm like, man, do they have a box or something? So I see the little nacho boats. Those little paper containers they put nachos in.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the woman who took my money. First off, she's like, hey, our card reader's not working. Fortunately, I had cash, so I was able to pay for it. No big deal. Not a big deal at all. I asked her, I was like, hey, since I've got 5 hot dogs and 5 bottles of water to carry here, could you hand me one of those little nacho boats so I could put the hot dogs in them to help me, make it easier to carry? She wouldn't give me one. She said, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do that. We have to count those for our inventory. What? I just gave you $50 for water and hot dogs, and you can't give me a 5-cent paper tray to help me carry the hot dogs? And so I realized she was only doing what she was told, but let's reevaluate that whole mindset right there. I mean, it's just, it was awful. It was absolutely, the logistics were absolutely awful. The only thing that didn't go wrong this time at War Memorial Stadium was that we did not have a clock malfunction over the course of the game.
Surprising.
Now, here's a question for you, Zach.
Okay.
All right. Played Western Carolina. I think they brought about 7 fans. I saw just a little swaddling of purple.
Okay.
All right. One of the main complaints from people who love games at War Memorial is, well, you give us crap opponents. You give us crap opponents. It's fair. I will admit the opponents are not SEC caliber.
Right.
What happens when you bring in an SEC caliber team or even a team like Memphis that will travel? Okay.
Okay.
How quickly are you, if you're running out of concessions and drinks at the start of the third quarter for Western Carolina, what's going to happen when you bring Ole Miss in there? What's going to happen when you bring Memphis in there? What's going to happen in 2025 when you bring Arkansas State down there for a game that people have been clamoring for 30 freaking years? How quick are you going to run out of concessions by the end of the first quarter?
Yeah, and that's the thing is and Richard Wright says he's moving past War Memorial Stadium, and we are. We're going to talk.
And I am. Once we go to the break, I'm done with it. But I had a lot pinned up in me that I had to get out.
But it's one of those things that it has to be talked about because fans are the ones in, and again I'm going to rhyme here. Fans are the ones in the stands. Okay, we're the ones that give the feedback, and if nobody's talking about it, it's going to continue, and it's going to continue, and it's going to continue. Okay. War Memorial back in the day, everybody knows this. War Memorial back in the day was a hell of a stadium to play in. Mike Leach even, may he rest in peace, Mike Leach even said it was the loudest environment he's ever been in.
Yeah.
Okay? Peyton Manning was at the Touchdown Club. Okay? I don't think he played in Little Rock. I don't think he played there.
I don't remember. I know I watched Tennessee play there one time, but I don't remember if that was pre-Peyton Manning or not. But
it's bottom line, and I'm gonna throw this up. Bottom line, it is time to stop playing at War Memorial. But here's the thing: when they redid the contract a couple of years ago, didn't Hunter Yurchek say that it's every other year?
I thought so, but we do have a game there next year.
Answer me this: why are we playing? And not only do we have a game there next year, guess what? It's game one.
Yeah.
And it's UAPB.
So you're going to have the exact same scenario.
Okay. Now, watch for that game to be moved to Thursday. I was incorrect. I thought they'd move the game to Thursday night. They did not, but they did move the game up, and we see what happened. It was so bad. It's so bad that even the head Hawg took a shot at War Memorial Stadium. On the teleconference today, the first opening sentence that he said was, "It's going to be good to be back home in our own stadium."
Yep.
You know it's bad. You know the experience was bad when even the head Hawg comes out and takes a pot shot at your stadium.
I was a little bit, and knowing Pittman like we do, he probably didn't mean it the way it came out, but it definitely did come out as kind of a shot, and I mean it cracked me up. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I just, I don't know if any of y'all saw social media over the weekend, but Arkansas got absolutely hammered on social media for playing at War Memorial Stadium because of the crowd and everything else.
Now, again, before anybody jumps on me or MC about the crowd, yes, at the beginning of the game, the crowd was great. All right,
there was nothing wrong with the crowd that was there. But what you had is what you had. I got no problem with that.
Here's my issue. Okay. And it's also an issue at Razorback Stadium. All right. Because I've seen it firsthand multiple times, except for the Texas game. We get up big. And by halftime, everybody clears out. So it's on TV, right? They do a pan shot of the entire stadium in the second half. And it looks like there's maybe 10,000 fans there, dude.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing.
Now, I will say this. I broke my one cardinal rule. We left early. Because I had a 5-year-old and 2 8-year-olds with me, and I couldn't get them anything to drink. And we were all cooked and hot and cranky. And the boys didn't understand why we couldn't go get anything to drink. And so when Arkansas scored to make it, I think it was 42-10. When we scored there to make it 42-10, my wife and I kind of looked at each other like, all right, let's go. Let's go ahead and start making our way towards the car.
So we're going to wrap this up, but we're going to continue to talk about War Memorial as the show goes on. So we want your feedback. We want your feedback. We want your smoke. We want it all. We got a 2-hour special tonight. We're going until 8:30, depending on how long you guys want to hear us talk about the Razorbacks, because I can go all night. But before we do, let's jump back over here to the Harris Smith Chef Services live fan feedback. Let me scroll all the way back up here. And again, if you're gonna try to avoid the heat, Carolyn Williams, Razorback Girl says it perfectly. If you're gonna avoid the heat, make the game a 7:00 kickoff.
Yeah, and I don't think the moving it was try to avoid the heat. I think it was so the team could get back to Fayetteville before midnight. I think is what ended up driving that.
Well, and by the way, I didn't realize how many buses they actually had.
Yeah.
On my way back from Fort Smith, which, by the way, thank you, Rick and Miss D for inviting me out. I had a fantastic time, as most of you saw the picture. I passed them on 40 coming back to Central Arkansas. Wow. There's a lot of buses. There's a lot of
it's Eric a convoy.
Jernigan, all right. Eric Jernigan says, bottom line is the only game that needs to be played there going forward is ASU and University of Arkansas. Nothing else, period. On that same note, the A&M game at Jerry's World needs to stop as well. Have a game there, but make it a non-conference opponent, non-con game with a quality opponent. Here's the thing. That game at Jerry's World is ending. Next year is the final year of Arkansas A&M in Dallas because it's going to a home and home.
As it should be, since it's a conference game.
Especially with it being a conference game.
Yeah.
It's going to go to a home and home like a regular game.
And my thing, I don't have a problem with ASU and Arkansas playing there, but like I said earlier, you better make sure that you are better prepared on your concessions, because you can't be running out of drinks in the first quarter when you have a capacity crowd. And the first time that those two teams play, you're going to have a capacity crowd.
Where did I go? Richard Wright says, I'm moving past War Memorial Stadium. I am drinking the Razorback Kool-Aid. I expect a great season. 4-0 start.
4-0. Woo! Wow. Going down to Death Valley and opening up the can, huh?
I like it. Where'd it go? I lost my place. There we go. Brad Staten says, so what you're saying is there's a business opportunity sitting in front of us. Note to self, download Cash App. Dusty Hunt's in the house tonight. He says, yo. He says, other SEC teams play crap opponents Saturday and pack large stadiums.
That's true.
I mean,
that's true.
Ray Ransom says, by the way, new fan, Ray Ransom. Welcome into the Inside the Hawk Pen, man.
Welcome to the party, pal.
We didn't have, I am so sorry ahead of time. We didn't have a clock issue, but the mics on the referee did not work the whole game. No, they didn't.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't.
No,
they were cutting in and out from the first penalty until we left. So, and I realize that's something small, but attention to detail that is so important especially when you've got people like me who are looking for any reason to complain about playing at War Memorial anyway. And it's just those little things. I mean, it's just, and it could have been that he placed the mic in the wrong place and his cord was getting crimped or whatever. But
there's no telling.
Make it work.
Carolyn Williams, Razorback Girl, says he's hated it and mentioned it more than once that it is bad for recruiting. It is.
You can't have recruits there.
They're treating it like a neutral site game. She also says, but a Spotify channel is awesome. Hashtag turn that damn jukebox on. I love it.
I'll have to check that Spotify channel.
Matt Hart says more people would have been there in the second half, but if there were actually drinks to drink.
100%, because we wouldn't have left. If I could have got the boys something to drink, we wouldn't have left early.
And it just
Dusty Hunt is one of those fans. Look right here what Dusty said. We left due to no water.
And a lot of people did, especially when you have kids. If you've got little kids, like young kids, you're going to leave early.
Yeah, and it killed my soul because I hate leaving early. I hate it. That happened to me a lot as a kid. And I said, when I got grown and I was driving the vehicle, we wasn't leaving early.
Yeah. But here's the thing. And as we're wrapping this up, going into our first break at the end of our first hour here, how do we fix it? What do you?
Oh, there's an easy fix. You shut it down. You shut it down.
But then your argument is, okay, let's put that. Okay, so let's do this. Put that game in Razorback Stadium on Labor Day weekend. on Labor Day weekend. Put it in
Mhm.
Razorback Stadium. You're looking at the same kind of, almost the same crowd, but you
You'll
don't hear
probably
any,
have,
but you don't hear anybody complaining about the attendance up there because, wait for it, it's on campus.
yeah, and you probably have. I mean, they announced 44 at Little Rock. I would say you're probably going to announce 57, 58 at Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Just simply because you're going to have more students there because students are already on campus. They're back in class. You know, they may not stay long because of how hot it is. And the weather is what it is. It's Arkansas in the end of August, early September. It's going to be hot. Just like this coming Saturday in Fayetteville, it's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot.
I mean,
I will be there. By the way, I am taking a very good friend of mine to his first Razorback game ever.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Ever. Big thank you to Chef James Harris for those tickets to Kent State. I will be there live. I don't know if we're doing a pregame yet. I don't know. I'll have to talk to MC about it. But I will be there live. So if you are going to the game, holler at me, and I will be glad to shake your baby and sign your, never mind.
Shaking babies and kissing hands.
Yeah, pretty much. But, yeah, and it wrapping it up, the debate's going to continue. It's going to go on, and it's going to go continue for years to come until they get it right.
Well, and the outside of the one gentleman on our show that said his experience was great, and I apologize, I can't remember his name. I'm going back looking for his comment now.
Phillips, I do believe this was his name.
Johnny Phillips.
Phillips.
Johnny, I'm glad you had a great experience. My experience was not great. And outside of Mr. Phillips here, the only people that I have heard say anything positive about this are a lot of the people that are on Little Rock Radio that are going to say positive things, even if there is a massive fire, 27,000 people die. They're going to come on there and say, well, at least they were making memories at War Memorial Stadium.
Right. All right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to have a Western Carolina recap, and we're going to do something a little different. So everybody remembers MC's School of Hawg Hoops during basketball season. Well, now we're going to go in the huddle. We're going to get a breakdown of Western Carolina in a brand new segment on the other side of the break. You're listening and watching to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. Calling all local craft beer connoisseurs. Little Oktoberfest, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas, is just around the corner, and you don't want to miss this opportunity to sample some of the best craft beers across the state. Saturday, September 23rd at War Memorial Stadium from 6 to 9 p.m. Get your tickets now. Oh, and ITHP will be broadcasting live with me, Razorback Zach, and D-Mad from the Man Cave. So stop by and say hey to the guys. Little Oktoberfest 2023, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas. Saturday, September 23rd, 6 to 9 p.m. at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. We'll see you there. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Whew, boy, that beer fest is going to be fun. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I hate that I'm going to be out of town for that because I had planned to come down this year. But
you're good. All right,
I'll bring one for you.
So
appreciate it.
here we go. Let me take this. Oops, wrong one. My computer's on the fritz, as you guys can tell.
You're telling me about technical issues.
I know, right? All right, so we're going to try a new segment. Dylan's joining us right now. We're going to go in the huddle. You guys have heard of MC School of Hog Hoops. Well, we're going to go in the huddle with Dylan. Now, Dylan, 56-13. Most people would think, hey, that's a convincing victory. The numbers are going to be outrageous. But really wasn't the case. So what did you? Let's start with you. What did you see coming out of that game on Saturday?
I'm going to point out the obvious just real quick. The offensive line. We got a lot of work to do if that's going to be our offensive line for the year. I understand, like they might have been putting 8 in the box and they might have been keying on number 5, but I mean at the same point, we've got to be able to lean on an opponent and get 4 or 5 yards in a cloud of dust. We can't be getting hit in the backfield, and who knows? It could have been a play calling thing. They didn't run a lot of downhill stuff. They ran a lot of side-to-side stuff. Mm-hmm. And that could come on to some of the running backs too. The running backs just being a little bit timid instead of hitting the hole. But I kind of graded out the offense and defense. I got the offense at a B+. The receivers, wow. The receivers came out firing. It just incredible catches after incredible catches. I don't know about y'all, but the last time I could remember of having an Arkansas team with 4 bona fide pass catchers, like it's been a long time. And
Petrino, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're because you're thinking probably Greg Childs, Joe Adams, Jarius Wright, and Colby Hamilton, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, we've got an X and a Z, which are outside receivers, Armstrong and Tesla, just making the game look easy out there.
Oh yeah.
And then Tesla almost doing that kip up after his touchdown.
That was cool.
Yeah. He needs to be careful because he almost hurt himself on that one. So Dylan, when you're looking at the running game, we only averaged 2 yards a carry, 105 yards total for the game. When last season we were up there with the big leagues, no pun intended, but we were up there with the big leagues, 250, 200, 250, sometimes a 300-yard game. Sometimes, not all the time. People are going to be like, we never ran for 300 yards. I'm just saying.
That's the same people that are yelling in the stands, that's not going to work against LSU.
Now, who in the world? Oh, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. But
God, I almost got into a fight about that.
One of the things that I realized, that I noticed watching that game on Saturday, we can pass block all day long. KJ had so much time back there in the pocket, which he hasn't had in his time at Arkansas. But you couldn't run block for one of the best running backs in the conference? I mean, come on.
That's really weird, too, because typically O linemen are a lot better run blocking than they are pass blocking. And that's kind of weird to me. I don't know. Like I said, it could have gone back to the whole they had 8 in the box thing. But it just doesn't make sense to me that we weren't like, I'm not going to say we had to gash them, but I'm thinking that the coaches probably saw something in our scrimmages of like something we're struggling with. And we were probably struggling with that outside run. That's why we kept on calling it, because they want to get live reps of like, hey, we're going to run this play and y'all are going to have to figure it out. So that's probably why we kept on calling it so much. Not that we think we got to run this play to beat LSU or Bama, but it's more just like we're running this play so we get it better in the future. Like we probably have the plays, the zone reads where we have a free runner going towards KJ or Rocket, and then they either give the ball or take the ball and Rocket or KJ just walks into the end zone. We have those plays. I don't doubt that for a second. Just look at KJ walking into the end zone. Like, what is that, third quarter?
Third quarter. But I don't think that was the way that play was supposed to go.
No, he basically had to rip the ball away from Dom Johnson.
I think we were running that same play again where we were trying to get traction on that play. And KJ was like, no, we're going to go ahead and score here, and just walked it in.
No, but the other thing I noticed too, and by the way, I'm giving a jock strap, a good old smelly jock strap to Pooh Paul. Let me tell you why. There was no reason for that targeting call. There was no reason for him to lower his helmet. Okay. No, you cannot defend that to me. There was no reason. Had he pulled up and kept his head up and just wrapped up the quarterback and not try to take him to the ground, it would have been a free pass all day long. There wouldn't have been a flag. But the fact that the whistle blew and he lowered his head and he came in contact with the quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know about you, MC, but I was not there for that. Zach
Yeah,
called me and was talking to
I'm
me
thinking
about it.
that happened after we had left too, because I was trying to play back in my head when that
I
happened.
think
And
that was early fourth quarter. I do believe.
okay, I was
Well, okay,
somewhere walking to
so
my car.
I had
they
three people
called-
with me that were like, "We're leaving," and I was like, "Okay."
they called they called the play dead. All right, the whistles blew. The ref was standing right there next to the quarterback when the whistle blew. There was no reason for Pooh to lower his head. None whatsoever. And that's all he did. He didn't lunge. He didn't do anything. He never and again, for those that were there that saw it, if he tried to slow down, it did not come across that way on TV.
He didn't. He was trying to send a message.
All he did was drop his head. That was it.
He was that's a dumb rookie mistake. Like not rookie, but young person mistake. He was trying to kind of go ahead.
If he's gonna do that though, this is the game to do it in. You know, if you gotta have a bonehead moment, do it in this game. Hey guys, I'm kind of watching Twitter as we go here. We do have a little bit of breaking news.
Wait. I got it.
Okay.
Y'all gotta. I love these buttons.
Is it not working?
It's there. It would.
Okay. All right. So this is coming from Alyssa Orange on Twitter because I believe in giving credit to the people who actually tweet stuff. Pittman on his radio show about Rocket, he will not play this Saturday, and it's going to take 2, possibly 3 weeks for him to heal up.
So that'll be right at LSU, maybe
if
A&M.
It's 2 weeks,
maybe A&M.
If it's 2 weeks, then he's going to miss. He'll miss Kent State, he'll miss BYU, and then be back for LSU. If it's 3 weeks, he'll miss the LSU game.
Yeah.
Or no, do we have one more in there? No, that's it. That's right. That's right.
So let me ask you guys this, and for those of you guys listening and watching, I want your take too. Last season, MC and I, we went round and round about some of the games of not finishing strong, about taking your foot off the gas in the second half. I almost feel like it happened again on Saturday because we came out strong, scored 3 touchdowns on 3 opening drives. KJ started 9 for 9, or no, he started 12 for 12.
Yeah, and completed his first 12 passes.
Yet you're sluggish in the second half,
Well, and I think you're going to have some of that when you have a blowout like that. You're going to have some of it. I'm not excusing all of it like what we did last year. But, I mean, you did end up, 56-13, 43-point differential.
Yeah.
You had your backup quarterback, which I thought looked really good once I saw the highlights of Criswell.
Right.
Way he stood in the pocket, knowing he was going to get hammered on that touchdown pass, still stood there, completed the pass, got the touchdown. And then how about Brad Spence, the freshman linebacker,
with
the 85-yard pick six? I mean,
so,
that was pretty nice as well.
When Jacoby came, and here's the thing: if you're going to play Jacoby like that, you should have brought him in a little bit earlier. I can understand why they didn't, but I feel like you should have put him in and left him in a little bit longer. All right. Here's the thing, fellas, and I haven't been able to say this in a while. We have an actual backup quarterback that can play.
Yeah.
I tell you what, him taking that shot on that touchdown, he gained a lot of respect from his teammates for that.
100%.
He went to the sideline with a bloody lip, and he just kind of started poking at it with the towel. He's got a lot of fans in that locker room of his.
Yeah.
Shout
out Morrilton Devil Dogs.
Speaking of backup quarterbacks,
high story. No.
I wonder how Malik did.
Well, he got a win. He got a win. He may not have contributed, but they got a win.
Oh wait, he rode the bench. Gee,
yeah.
Huh?
He was probably pouting on the sideline too.
Do you know who started that game for Texas State?
Wasn't it Auburn? Yeah, wasn't Auburn's
Finley.
former?
Yeah.
So getting back, wrapping up the Western Carolina recap. Dylan, you saw some things that we liked. We saw some things that we didn't like. What do you see coming into week 2, the adjustments that need to be made coming from because they say it all the time. The biggest adjustment, the biggest improvement is coming from week 1 to week 2.
I will say this: we will probably see somebody hand off the ball to somebody else about 50 times come Saturday.
As we should,
Well,
because
that's about as generic as it gets.
I don't see more than 20 passes. We might as well become a naval school this week. Or a military school.
well, okay, so and there's a reason for that because last week Kent
Could not run
State
them.
played Central Florida,
Mhm.
the Fighting Gusses, and the Fighting Gusses ran for almost 400 yards. So
yeah.
I would say you're spot on. We'll probably see 50 carries between the backs that we have that are healthy, and that's another thing. With Rocket out, you got to figure probably Rashad Dominion goes to running back 1, even though he's a little banged up.
You have Dominique Johnson back.
I mean, you've got to.
Oh, and AJ Green's there, and then you got what's the freshman Augustine?
Augustine.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got plenty of guys to spread carries around through.
We've heard for months that this is the deepest running back room that Arkansas has had in a while. Now I think we're about to see it.
Yeah. Here's your shot, boys. Yep.
I also think the reason why they're probably holding Rocket out, if this was like a big game, like we're LSU playing Florida State, we'd probably still see Rocket this week a little bit.
Yeah.
But we have this 3-game gap between LSU, so we can afford to not play Rocket. And go ahead.
You don't think the BYU game is a high profile game?
I don't think so. I didn't watch them last week. I don't know what the score of the game was, but I just
let me be devil's advocate real quick, Dave. We've touted this. I mean, in Provo, the first game in Fayetteville, we've touted this as a big game. Why now this year it's just your average non-con?
Last year we had jet lag. This year they'll have jet lag. If you look at the history of it, any SEC team going to west of Utah, let's just draw a line west of Utah and going to play, they have never really played well unless they've spent a week there.
Right.
I mean, we're going to see how Ole Miss does this weekend. They're going to Cal. Cal was in a shootout with North Texas. And we're going to see how Ole Miss.
Did North Texas do the fake punt thing?
We don't listen. Hey.
No.
Hey.
You bring up the foul ball. Don't start with me, damn it.
Oh Jesus!
I have no memory of that.
Give me an idea of what's going on in the huddle in the film room, getting ready for Kent State.
Well, I'm thinking that T. Will's probably talking to his old employer about what they did defensively to kind of hold them down, what their biggest deficiencies were, where their biggest things or where their strengths were, and then they're going to work on that all week defensively. By the way, defensively, I got them at an A-. The only thing I didn't like from the defense was I couldn't really tell if the defensive line got a push this week. But the DBs played with their hair on fire, and I kind of expect the same. Kent State, I think I heard they have 0 returning starters.
I think that's right. I think I heard that too.
Well, now they got 22, so they've got all 1 game experience at starting.
Yeah.
But I just don't think I don't think defensively they're going to do a whole lot, or offensively they're going to do a whole lot against us. I think we're kind of going to have our way with them in the defensive backs. I think Marcus Woodson's been going bananas in that defensive back room. Offensively, I think you might see Pitt in that offensive line room this week, challenging them and saying every job, including Bo Limmer and Brady Latham, every job is on the table this week. If you decide to take off a play, don't worry. Tykees Crawford and Marion Harris, they're all just eager, foaming at the mouth. And then you're going to have a audition this week for running back 2 or running back 1 for all that matter. You're going to have an audition this week. This is audition week. You're going to have people that are going to nut up or shut up this week. The wide receiver room, we saw Tesla and Andrew Armstrong, a little bit of Satania, and a little bit of Jaden Wilson kind of put their name out there last week. But I'm expecting Tyron Broden to kind of have his little moment this week too. And Luke Haas. Luke Haas is going to probably have a big role this week. They're probably going to have a lot more of the play action, the old I'm going to call it the old Brett Bielema system, the downhill play action boot. We're probably going to see a little bit of that this week too. And you're going to have Luke Haas getting the old Hunter Henry play. I think basically what we're seeing this week is a lot of people being auditioned for starting roles and kind of going forward from there.
This is probably going to be – go ahead, MC.
I was just going to say, as cliche as it sounds when coaches, tell their backups, hey, you're one play away, we're actually seeing that come to fruition this week. And like you were talking about, especially the running backs, I want to see who's going to step up. Is it going to be Dominion? Is it going to be A.J. Green? Is it going to be Dominic Johnson? That's a guy that's coming back off of an injury that if you go back before his injury, I think it was the 21 season, he was the starting back before Rocket really became Rocket.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, Dylan, you hanging out with us for Kent State?
I'll have you as long as you'll have me.
You're fired. No, I'm just kidding. On the other side of the break, we're going to be talking about Kent State Game 2 at home.
You can't fire me anymore, Zach.
I know. At home. Back in just a minute on Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Calling all local craft beer connoisseurs. Litter Oktoberfest, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas, is just around the corner, and you don't want to miss this opportunity to sample some of the best craft beers across the state. Saturday, September 23rd at War Memorial Stadium from 6 to 9 p.m. Get your tickets now. Oh, and ITHP will be broadcasting live with me, Razorback Zach, and D-Mad from the Man Cave. So stop by and say hey to the guys. Litter Oktoberfest 2023, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas. Saturday, September 23rd, 6 to 9 p.m. at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. We'll see you there. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Razorback Zach hanging out with you alongside Marcus MC Carlton with our analyst of the night, Dylan Madden. All right, boys, Game 2, Kent State Golden Flashes. That doesn't sound terrifying at all.
So
at home, coming to Fayetteville.
Chicka.
Whoa. That would be cool if that was their mascot, though. I won't lie. Coming to Fayetteville, 3 o'clock kickoff. SEC Network on Saturday. And, I mean, there's really nothing to be said, but I want to throw a couple of stats out for you. When Arkansas, I'm not going to say with a win, I'm going to say when Arkansas beats Kent State on Saturday, it will start 2-0 for 3 straight seasons under Sam Pittman. The last head coach to do that is who? Dylan.
Brett Bielema.
Wrong. Houston Nutt, 1998, 1999, and 2000.
Just FYI, I got her answer about BYU. They played Houston State, and they won 14-0.
Okay.
In Utah.
Oh. Well, sounds like BYU is...
Hey, Zach, we have more royalty in the house.
Who we got?
From the Fan Addict Sports Network, watching on
Coach
our YouTube page. Coach I is in the building.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
How about that?
Only saying that because he's a Georgia Bulldog. That's it. That's it. Well, what's up, Coach I? Thanks for tuning in, my man. We all heard that Kent State got 300-plus yards put on them just on the ground. I think the total offense was
723. I was looking at that in the break. They gave up 723 total yards of offense against the Fighting Malzahns, and so 389 on the ground, 723. That's 350, 340 through the air.
Tell you what that is. That's not good.
No, that is definitely not good. If you are a defensive guy.
As Dylan drops his phone. Richard Wright already coming in with the prediction, 48-7 Kent State.
Kent State? What? Maybe he means 48 for Arkansas and 7 for the Kent State.
Okay. I might have to worry about that. Cody Blasco says, hey, guys, I'm tired of fans talking bad about the O-line because Western Carolina came into that game wanting to stop the run, and our best lineman was out that game. Why can't people pick out the goods about the team, not the bads?
I don't pump sunshine. So
simple answer. People are going to find anything to – is my daughter still watching? Anything to gripe about.
I'll tell you this.
Right there.
When it comes to being critical of something,
yeah,
we're not saying the O-line was bad.
No, not at all.
We're saying they have an opportunity to get better.
Not at all.
And,
they protected KJ in the passing game. And I'm going to say it. I'll be the first one to say it this season. They protected KJ when he was trying to throw the ball flawlessly. They protected the twos. Protected Jacoby Criswell.
Well,
good enough to make a touchdown throw.
Even when Western Carolina did get a hit in on KJ, he bounced him off of him like it was one of those super bouncy balls.
I wish I had that video, that play. They just bounced off of him.
Also,
dude, and that was a hard hit because it sounded like a shotgun going off when that dude hit KJ, and he just rolled right off of it.
Coach, when I saw that, I turned to my girlfriend. I looked at her. I said, "I love that man."
Yep. Yep. I looked at Papa Rick and I went, "I'll lift weights."
Yeah, exactly.
So Coach I wants to know, MC, I'm going to let you answer this question. Coach I wants to know the status of Rocket Sanders.
So, Coach, it was just announced. Sam Pittman has his weekly radio show on Wednesday nights. It's going on right now. I just saw on Twitter where he announced that Rocket is out for this week and more than likely next week. He didn't go into detail on what the injury was, but he said he had an injury that was going to take a couple of weeks, maybe 3 to completely heal up. We're all sitting here hoping for 2 because if he's healed up in 2 weeks, that means he's back for LSU. I would rather him just go ahead and miss these last 2 regular non-conference games and be ready for the trip down to Death Valley if he's ready. Now, if he's not ready, if these other guys that are in the running back room can take care of business, then go ahead and let him sit and just bring him back for A&M.
Yeah, absolutely. Carolyn Williams, Razorback girl, she's coming in hot. She says, you have to realize that in the past, stop the run, we lose, but we won and won big.
That's very true.
In the past, you put in our 2s, and it was 3-and-out city. Both sides scored. So
that's an excellent point.
A very good point. That's something we haven't seen in a while. So the biggest question going into week 2, are the pieces starting to fall into place finally?
To be determined. I think you're off to a good start on that. To kind of echo onto what Carolyn was saying there, being able to take what the defense gives you and be successful with it is something that we've not been able to do in a long time. And just like she said, if you shut down what was supposed to be the best aspect of our offense, 9 times out of 10 we lose that game. This was nice to see. And I'm completely with her on that. You forced 5 turnovers. You scored on offense and defense. And guys, I'm telling you, Isaiah Satania, he's gonna pop one. Okay, you could tell. I mean, when they were punting to him and on the kickoffs, most of those he was right in front of us when he was fielding it, and you could just tell dude was chomping at the bit just to get in just the slightest little bit of open field.
A return. 50 yards of return. When was the last time we had that? When?
Joe Adams.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot about him.
Hey,
but
whenever that punt dropped right in front of him, how badly did you yell, "Pick it up and run"? Because I was sitting there, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Yeah. I was sitting over. I was like, "Get it."
I don't think you were alone.
Kerry Story. Wow. Okay, that's one of my dudes.
I hope I said his name right. Kerry Story. The receivers were amazing. They caught everything close. That was a refreshing change from last season. Let me tell you something.
100%.
Okay?
Let me talk to you.
Wait. Good eye. Yes. Crank it up.
Let me talk to you.
Okay. So I got to mention this just because it's a refreshing thing. In one game, Danny Nose has put a stamp on this offense better than Kendall Briles did in 3 years at Arkansas. Okay? 3 years. Now, flip that. How did KB do at TCU? I wonder.
I mean, they put up 42 points, you know.
But in typical Kendall Briles fashion,
though.
But in typical Kendall Briles fashion, they came up 3 short.
Yep. They hung that L.
Typical
the Morris people were 0-2 this week too.
Oh yeah, let's not go there. But no, and it's let me wrap this part up.
Yeah.
So when you look at this from a standpoint, let me put that back up there so everybody knows. You should again win convincingly on Saturday, and by all intents and purposes, should win convincingly next weekend. Now, when you go on the road against LSU, MC, I think we beat LSU this year.
I want to see a little more before I make my official pick on the LSU game.
Are you trying to tell me that you're taking the approach with Brian Kelly in year 2 that I'm taking with Prime in year 1? Because
I'm a little more wait and see. Yeah,
I get it. Colorado beat TCU. At TCU. Okay, handedly on paper. And they matched their win total from last year. I want to see a little bit more, though. All right? I want to see a little bit more before I jump on that train.
That's fair.
Staying on topic with the Arkansas Razorbacks. All right? Did you know this is the first time ever that we're playing the Golden Flashes? That sounds really bad.
I would have lost money if somebody would have bet me that we had played Kent State before.
I swear we have, but
I thought we had too, but you get up there, they're in the MAC. Is that right? Are they a MAC team?
Yeah, they're a MAC team.
Some of those MAC teams I get confused on. I mean, obviously we've played Toledo because I remember what happened there.
By the way, didn't old boy lose to Toledo again?
He did. Funny story. That was the first time I ever went to War Memorial.
Oh my God. Oh,
they had a concert after the game too.
Yeah, Brad Paisley, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
When he played Whiskey Lullaby, that was the end of War Memorial's magic right there. I said what I said, damn it.
Oh, I think Carolyn's got us here. Man, she is an encyclopedia.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, she can run circles around us.
I mean, who needs Wikipedia when you got her?
Richard Wright says 48-7. I'm going to assume the Hogs win because he said earlier in the show that it was 4-0 start. So I'm going to go. I like that. I said 52-10 against Western Carolina, and it was 56-13, which.
Hey, I meant to throw this out there earlier. If you look back at last week's show, I said it was going to be 28-3 at halftime. With 5 seconds left in the half, I'm sitting here feeling like Nostradamus, and then of course we have to score right before half and make it 35-3. So
there would be a touchdown in the first 30 seconds of having the ball.
I
didn't see that coming.
If that happened and it was 28-3 at the half, there would be no living with MC.
Oh, dude, I would have had to turn sideways to come up the stairwell here to my hog pen here in NEA.
I'd hand him the captain's chair, and I'd go, "See y'all next week."
I had my text pulled up. Even though my phone was trying to overheat on me, I was trying to get a text out because I was going to remind Zach that I had said 28-3 at half.
Eric Jernigan says Death Valley at night is a tough road to hoe. Here's the thing, and it's it's not. It's like, okay, I'm gonna say it, and y'all are about to come after me, but you know what? I'm okay with that because I love you guys and I love what I do here. Death Valley nowadays is like what War Memorial is to us. Okay.
Ooh, that's a bold statement.
But again, it's lost its luster.
Well, I think the battle for the boot has.
Yeah, it has, but we're not. But again, we're not talking about battle. We're talking about Death Valley at night. It's not what it used to be.
Whoops, my bad.
It's not what it used to me. It's not. That's just my personal opinion. To me, it's not.
I think it has more to do with Arkansas.
I don't think stadium atmosphere is what it used to be. I think because if you think about it, back in the Greg McElroy days, like we were his loudest stadium, and I don't think stadiums get that loud anymore. I think you got a lot of people looking at their phones. You got a lot of people not paying attention to the game. You got a lot of people trying to play Madden up there.
Coach, I was pulling the voodoo doll out on me.
Yeah, I saw that.
He
Well,
says,
and another thing is,
you, Bobby.
attendance across the board for college football as a whole is down.
Because they're trying to
ticket prices are high.
Yeah, they're about to price themselves out of the common fan. And honestly, now, if you think about it, with the TV deals that every conference has, you can get a game anywhere. So let's just take my situation, for instance. 4.5 hours, 5 hours to Fayetteville, depending on traffic. Got to get a hotel room, got to get gas, got to get food. You know, for what I would spend going up there in a weekend, dude, I can throw one heck of a watch party here at my house.
And I would be there at his house in an hour and a half, and I am betting.
There you go.
If MC says, I'm hosting a watch party, I'm like,
we would be at his house.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about there, Tiger. But going back to the
MC would have the beer fest, but in NEA.
Yeah, right.
I'm in a dry county though, so how are we gonna pull that off?
Which, by the way, MC, I have a little breaking news for you as well. It's going to be a little bit of a throwdown there in Jonesboro on Saturday, as it's MC versus Bum. Bum is coming to Jonesboro.
No way.
Our boy Bum's coming to Jonesboro. So be on the lookout for that. But let's go back to the Harris Smith Chef Services live fan feedback. Our play calling is definitely better than last year. We don't have to worry about calling a run on 4th and 10. More like 4th and 17, Cody, but I get you on that, dude.
I remember the days of Houston Nutt calling screen passes on 4th and 17, so that's fine.
3rd and 15, smoke draw, baby.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So here comes the smoke against Death Valley, and I'm okay with that. It holds 100,000 people. Don't kid yourself, guys. They're loud and will be loud, and I get that. But it doesn't intimidate me like it used to.
I have a question about LSU right now. Their defensive tackle, was his name Mason Taylor, who's suspended?
Yeah.
Suspended 4 games or 3 games?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
You know what? I got Google open. Hold on. But if he's suspended 4 games,
you got to issue that apology again, there, MC. Hold on. We'll get there.
Yep.
But if he's suspended 4 games, he's not going to be there for Arkansas.
So he's not going to be there for Arkansas. Okay. That makes a difference. And so while we're talking LSU, let's talk LSU just real quick. What does you guys take on LSU? Were they just that vastly overrated, or is Florida State maybe a little bit better than everybody thought?
I think it's a little bit of both. Okay, but here's the thing.
It's fair.
Who was the coach? Was it the Bears coach? Was it Lovie Smith back several years ago, who was like, the Bears are who they thought they were?
Oh, that was Dennis Green. That was Dennis Green when he was at Arizona.
That's right.
And we let him off the hook.
Yes, that is a good one.
I don't think again, and I said this in preseason, I don't think LSU is all they're cracked up to be. This was a must win for Brian Kelly, and he got blown out.
So I will say this about Brian Kelly. I wouldn't call him a friend. He's more of an acquaintance. Okay. We know each other, but
Brian Kelly?
He no. A Notre Dame fan. Don't hold it against me, but I do know a few Notre Dame fans. And this guy was telling me, he was like,
I mean, I know a Penn State fan, so
he told me 3 or 4 weeks ago, he's like, LSU's going to crash and burn He said, I have seen this movie with Brian Kelly. He comes in, he does great things. Year 2 comes up, and he blanks the bed.
Well, again, but just like Prime, I want to see a little bit more out of Mike Norvell in Florida State before I make any kind of judgment call.
He's definitely made them better.
Absolutely. He's the culture there, the program as itself. They look dominant like they did under Bobby Bowden in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. I'll say this, and y'all may jump on me for this, but I feel like Florida State is one of those teams that when they are, good to elite, if they fall in that category, college football as a whole is better.
Oh yeah.
They're just one of those that either you love them or you hate them, and if they're good enough, it's fun to hate them.
So
I just want to throw this little wrench in here.
Okay,
we were this close to hiring Mike Norvell.
We were also very close to hiring Deion Sanders. The only thing stopping him was he had no. And again, I don't understand the reason behind what they're saying is that he had no head coaching experience, but neither did Sam Pittman. I'm not digging at Sam Pittman at all.
That's a you fool me once type of thing. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So, I got to do this. So Casey Sutton's on here, and I let off earlier in the show tonight. Casey, if you missed it, you can go back and see it. But I had a very heartfelt apology that I issued to Mama Casey because we had been talking all week about, hey, going to meet up, shake hands, hug your neck, whatever you want to do here, just to say hi and kind of put, physical being with the digital being here. And I had every intention of doing that. And then my phone overheated and I stopped getting messages altogether. And so, Casey, since you're right here and I can see you now, I am truly sorry that I did not make that happen. We will remedy this situation. I promise you.
And he will hold that in. He will hold that
there,
up.
I feel better.
I promise you that. Cody Blasco says,
I felt so bad all the way home after seeing that. I mean, that just, it really bothered me because I'd give her my word that we were going to meet up. So
meanwhile, while Casey's over here kicking cancer's ass for a second time, Mama Linda kicked COVID's ass.
All right.
So we got a double whammy here, MC.
There you go.
Cody Blasco says, I see LSU losing 3 or 4 games this year. I mean, again, the SEC outside of Georgia right now is wide open. And even Georgia didn't look all that spectacular to me. Of course, I didn't see the whole thing.
Is this the year that we get the 1998 rematch? Arkansas versus Tennessee in the SEC championship?
Oh, my God. I don't even want to begin to think about that because, dude, my best friend from high school is probably the biggest Tennessee fan I know. And if that happens, then
I need to ask Coach I. Coach I, like I said, Coach I is from Fan Addict Sports. Y'all,
big Georgia fan.
Y'all are missing out. All right, y'all are missing out if y'all ain't watching his show.
Fan Addict's awesome. It was really entertaining.
Hey, he said next time we're getting MC. So I've been looked over now. They want you instead.
I'll be home this weekend. So
there you go. They actually want both of us at one point. But I need to talk to him. From what I read, Georgia was not all spectacular like they have in the past. I don't know if it's true or not, but let me check my settings here. Sorry about that, y'all. But look at, like I said, staying in the Harris Mid Chef Services live fan feedback. Jonathan Parker says, didn't Kelly also say that LSU would beat the hell out of Florida State?
Yes, he did.
Yes,
he did. Yep.
Brian
he
Kelly
said it to his family.
Cody Blasco. If Arkansas wants to win the West, this is the year to do it for sure.
I think it's wide open. Like
I think it's as open as it's been in a while. Yeah,
I think it's a 1-loss or a 2-loss team might win the crown this year.
Two words.
I could see that.
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban can lose 2 games this year.
Yeah, but Arkansas is not going to win.
Arkansas retires Saban. I said this last week. All right.
Okay. So if it comes true, you can have my spot for one show. If it comes true that Arkansas is the one not if he retires at the end of the season, but if Arkansas retires Nick Saban, you can have my spot for one show.
I'm just going to say it right now. If we go down to T-Town and pull the upset, I'm going to be crying like a little baby when we do our post-game show. I can just already tell you because
I will be so drunk. I just want to let you know right now.
because at this point I'm starting to think, man, it just ain't going to happen as long as he's there. So
Somebody's getting audio feedback. I don't know which one of you guys it is.
yeah, I don't know where that's coming from.
I think it's coming from Dylan.
Yeah, maybe so.
Cody Blasco coming in again hot. Says Arkansas will beat Bama this year, especially if we get offensive line figured out. I agree. I agree. And of course, Casey says, I have no doubt you will make it good, MC. You guys are great. Thank you, Miss Casey.
Thank you, ma'am.
I just, looking at this game, by the way, if you weren't here before, I'm going to keep this up on the screen probably the rest of the show. Kent State comes to Arkansas Saturday, 3 p.m.
Yep. Regular TV this week. No streaming. Regular TV.
I believe everything should be the same. I don't think there's anything crazy that has changed as far as tailgating, parking lots, things like that. The only difference is Baum East, the parking lot directly across from Baum Stadium. Half of it's going to be parking pass. Okay, half of it's going to be donor parking. The other half's going to be free parking. So if you want to get there and you don't have a parking pass and you want to park semi close to Razorback Stadium, you better get there at the booty ass crack of dawn. I'm just saying. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting that whole dynamic of splitting that parking lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they tried that last year, and I think I don't know. It worked, but it didn't work. That's just a matter of personal opinion. I think sometimes, and they got this thing now called Hawg Perks. So
I saw that. I was looking at some of that. Yeah.
So for me and MC at the Kent State game for $250, we can go play catch, or we can go play catch on the field with KJ.
Yeah, 250. Yeah, we can get our picture made. Get our picture made in the locker room for what was it, $50? I think.
I got mine taken in the locker room for free.
For free. Favorite 4-letter F word that we can actually say and nobody cringes.
So, Casey wants to know, how long do you think Saban will stay? Well, here's the thing. All right. By the way, comment section wide open. Anything you guys want to talk about sports related? I know who some of you are. So keep it sports related. But the Harris Mid Chef Services live fan feedback wide open for anything you guys want to talk about tonight. Here's the thing: if he has another down year like he had last year, I think he starts stepping on out. Because he said, I think it was several years ago, he had said something along the lines of, I don't want somebody to come in. I don't want to give it to the mantle to somebody. Mm-hmm. I want somebody to come and take it. And I think you're starting to see Kirby Smart finally come and take that mantle from Nick Saban.
Almost a little Freudian slip there, saying he's going to take the mantle from Sam Pittman. I like it.
Ariana Parks, which is Dylan's other half, says, wondering why my phone overheated. Looking at you, MC. So, Coach I's got a good question. We're showing in week 1, Florida or South Carolina? Ooh. I'm going to see. Here's the thing.
That's a tough one.
Coach, you and I talked about this. We all talked about it on your show in week 0 when they played Utah, or week 1 when they played Utah, and it was right about where we thought Florida would be. I feel like South Carolina just kind of the bed.
Well, I think there had been. I think Utah's a better team than North Carolina as far as who the opponents were. That said, I think there was a lot more hype around South Carolina and Beamer Ball and Spencer Rattler and all this.
Once again, overhyped.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've seen this movie before. How many years are we going to see Spencer Rattler be overhyped before people finally get the message that he's just not that good of a quarterback?
Now, who had the worst showing? Clemson or South Carolina?
Oh, Clemson. Clemson. They were top 10 ranked and lost to an unranked team.
I don't think South Carolina's as long as Rattler's your quarterback. I think he's letting all this press and he's letting all this hype go to his head, and it's not going to amount to anything.
I just think he's not that good.
At best, they're going to go 6-6. At best,
I mean,
maybe
I don't think, you look at quarterbacks around the league, and I think it's become very clear that after week 1, if you go back and you look at the preseason rankings of who the best quarterback was in the SEC, it is a clear cut that KJ is right now, after one game, is above everybody else. And Jaden Daniels probably falls to about 4 or 5 after the performance he put on against Florida State.
Yeah.
Rattler is just, I wasn't even impressed with him when he was at Oklahoma. I mean, I don't know. There's just something about the guy. I think no pun intended here, but I think he gets rattled easily when things don't go his way. He gets shook. I'll go that route.
I see what you did there. That goes along with the bacon comment you made earlier in the show. No,
only one person caught the bacon comment, by the way.
I got it. I was gonna let Brad have it. I want to address this real quick because Jonathan Parker asks a very good question. What do y'all think about Alex and Mallett's numbers being on the sideline? Is there a rule that is keeping them from putting Chris Smith's number where it's going to be the player stand? Here's the thing. It's a respect thing. That's why the Chris Smith family is going to be the honorary captains.
For the Auburn game, I believe. Yeah.
Was it
is it this week? Okay.
I thought it was
I may have misread that.
I thought it was. I haven't seen which, but I know they're going to be honorary captains. But here's the thing: it's kind of a memorial. It's kind of like and I hate to use this analogy, and I hate to use this word because may they all rest in peace, man. Taken way too soon. It's kind of like a gravestone. Okay. Mm-hmm. You don't want somebody standing on a headstone.
Right.
It's viewed as disrespectful. Okay. Yes, the numbers are on the sideline. The numbers are going to get trampled on. I get that. But if you're just standing there, I think they viewed it as kind of disrespectful because, number one, you're not going to be able to see it. If the players are all standing there in the box, you're not going to be able to see it. Yeah. Number two, I think they knew that, and that's why they're not going to do it. Now, I think they should they put something on the field had they not had his family as honorary captains? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because when I first saw the graphic, without knowing that the family was going to be team captains, my first question was, well, what the hell? Where's Chris Smith?
That was the first thing you texted me is like, Chris Smith, ...
But you don't want somebody standing. It's like a memorial. Yeah. You don't want somebody standing on it. All right. I don't want anybody standing on my headstone when I'm gone, but I know people are going to come by and spit on it. But
so here's a question I have, and I don't know, maybe the rules have changed and maybe that's why they didn't go this route. Why not helmet stickers?
I think there's a rule against how many.
I wondered if maybe rules had changed on that, and maybe you could do like one memorial sticker. I don't know. That's just I hadn't thought of that until just now.
I was gonna say that there's a rule of how many stickers you can have on that helmet, but you've seen Ohio State with the stars on the back.
Yeah, the little marijuana leaf. Yeah, we
saw a few years back the sledgehammer on the back of our helmets. So and they came all the way up to the top. So I honestly don't know, but at the same time, they're on the right track.
Yeah,
to honor these three players, and I think at the during basketball season, they're going to do something for Charles Ballantyne.
I will be shocked if they don't. Yeah,
I'm almost sure that they're going to. But I hope that answers your question, Jonathan Parker. Let me go back up here. Fan Addict Coach I says, think y'all are right. More hype around South Carolina. I'm not going to boost my ego, but I'm going to say that Coach I said I was right, and I'm going to hold on to that.
We're going to take that. We're going to take that ball and we're going to run with it.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be the one to fumble it on the 1 yard line. Anyway, Ronnie Beulah says, what does the LSU loss mean to Arkansas in the SEC? Well, anytime LSU loses and you're an Arkansas fan,
that's a good day.
I think that's a great day.
Yeah.
I think it's a great day. Does it mean anything to the SEC right now? No. Because it's only week 1.
Well, and let's not forget LSU lost to Florida State last year as well, and then went on to win the SEC West. So there you go.
So I mean, but I still don't think they're going to repeat. I still don't think they're going to repeat.
No,
He says
I don't think so.
Clemson had the worst showing because the roster was top 4 in the nation.
Yep.
Duke has 2 4-stars.
Yep.
Isn't David Cutcliffe still the coach out at Duke?
No, Mike Elko, I think is his name. He was a highly thought of assistant at a couple different places. I'm trying to remember where exactly, but he was one of those hot name assistants that took a job that people were kind of like, why are you taking this job? But it was to get head coaching experience, and obviously he's doing something right because they pulled off. I guess that would be the biggest upset of the weekend because they beat a top 10 team. So, and I saw a graphic that on Dabo while we're touching on Clemson here.
By the way, while we're touching on Clemson real quick, MC, shout out to their offensive analyst, Chad Christ. Way to call the game and do your homework.
If there is anybody living that has the exact opposite of the Midas touch, it's got to be that dude. Ever since, okay, let's just take a listen since he left SMU. He came here. We know exactly how that went.
Let me talk to you.
He left here. He went to be an offensive analyst or chief coffee getter or whatever at Auburn. With Gus. Bo Nix, he damn near ruined Bo Nix. Bo Nix transfers out of Auburn, and now he's a Heisman candidate at Oregon. So when Gus gets fired from Auburn, Morris is out of a job again. He goes to one of the biggest high schools in Texas, Allen High School in Texas, had an 84-game home winning streak. That immediately snapped, gone like yesterday. And then so he gets fired from that job. Dabo extends, a life preserver to him basically to pull him back into a job. And now he gets here and they lose to Duke. I mean,
we missed an open Hunter Biden joke there. Gone like the baggie in the White House.
Oh, there you go. I like it.
I'm not going to get political here, but you know what? It's my show. I say what I want. Sometimes it's dangerous.
Can you think of anybody that's had a worse string of luck than, and I'm not saying it's not deserved, but I mean, at some point the dude's got to look at this and be like,
I put him in
to
the
quote
same
Taylor Swift, it's me, I'm the problem.
I put him.
Did you have MC quoting Taylor Swift on your bingo cards tonight?
I did not. I did not. That's a new one.
That won't happen again. I promise you.
I doubt that, but okay. No, it's. I put him in the same category as I do Mark Curls, which, by the way, I'm going to give the refs are horrible as always. Yes, they are. Screw you, Mark Curls.
There it is. Every week.
I love it. Love to see the players wear their number on their jersey, and they do. And let me tell you something, guys. These former players, since Sam Pittman took over, these former players were embraced by this coaching staff.
Yeah.
They opened the doors and said, anytime you guys want to come back. And I can tell you this, there is a section of open lockers in the practice facility.
I believe that's right.
Just for Razorback alumni. Just for Razor, and nobody else can touch it. Nobody else can touch it. It's just for Razorback alumni that want to come in. So, I mean, when I tell you that Mallet, Chris Smith, Alex Collins, I'll tell you guys this. When I took the tour, and I again, we're going off on tangents, and that's okay because this is how we do here at Inside the Hawg Pen. When I took the tour, they have a special area where they put the boot. And at the front and center of that picture, so like a little curved mural type thing, is Alex Collins holding that boot up.
Nice.
And
very nice.
And when I tell you that meant a lot, just seeing that, you got to know he meant a lot to the program, and the program meant a lot to him too. So I love what they're doing. I think they need to do just a little bit more for Chris Smith because they're. I feel like they're kind of leaving him out, but that's just me. That's just my opinion of it. I mean, I could be wrong, and there's a lot more going on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
So I'm having a moment here, Zach. When did
just one?
Chris Smith? He played for Petrino. Is that right?
I think he played on the back end.
Back end of Petrino and early Bielema, maybe.
I think he played on the back end of Nutt, early Petrino.
Early. Okay. All right. I was trying to get my bearings around because I remember him when he played. I remember, him being a very solid player, but I was just the timeline was a little fuzzy and I couldn't remember the timeline.
I think he was late. I think he was either.
Where's Carolyn? I bet she knows.
Carolyn, you're being paged. Cody Blasco comes in and says, I say they put posters or banners of those players in the stadium and have a video before. They did do a video and a flyover memorial for those three, and including Keith Stokes, by the way, the handler for Tusk, which, by the way, I'm hoping we have not had word yet, but I'm hoping Tusk is at the game on Saturday. He was not there in Little Rock, but I'm hoping he will be there for the game in Fayetteville. But I do like that. They need to do something a little bit more than they did at Little Rock for the guys, and I think you're going to see that.
I think they were saving the big memorial for Fayetteville.
D-Man's over here going, not me walking around the house yelling, let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you.
Carolyn coming in strong.
Okay, so that was
that's Petrino and Bielema.
Petrino and Bielema. So you were right. I was about a year off. Good show. Coach asks, good show, fellas. See you later. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate you watching.
Hey, thanks for stopping by, Coach. Anytime. Doors open.
If I can get back, I won't get back in time, so I'll probably be joining audio only to the late night show on Saturday night, Coach. But I will definitely. One of us will be there to break the games down. I don't know about you, MC. I don't want to speak for you there, buddy. Carol Williams says the Clemson game shows how player development can overcome the high school star rating BS. Yeah, I'm with you, MC.
Facts.
We talked about this, I guess it was a year or so ago. The rating system with these kids coming out of high school is outdated. It's antiquated. I use the big word there.
We've seen it several times. You'll see, a kid. There may be two kids that are on the same caliber of athlete. If one of them commits to an Alabama, Georgia, or Clemson, his star rating suddenly goes up opposed to the kid who has almost the exact same skill set, numbers, et cetera, and he commits to, say, an Arkansas or a Mississippi State or an Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. That kid's not going to get the 5-star. And I think part of that, where they commit to should not factor into their star rating, in my opinion. It ought to be based solely on their skills and what they can contribute.
Okay, a little bit of breaking news here in the Hog Pen. Hang on just a second.
Wow.
So I have the schedule of events for Fayetteville if you guys want it. So here's the start. 11 a.m. Hogtown opens on Maple Street. 11:30, the Cole Birmingham concert starts. 12:15 is the Razorback Marching Band Parade from Walkerville to Lot 44. That's the one in front of Razorback Stadium across from Hogtown. That's where they're going to do the Hog Walk. The Hog Walk is a pep rally in Lot 44 featuring the Spirit Squad, Razorback Marching Band at 12:30. 12:45 is the Hog Walk. If you haven't been a part of the Hog Walk, I suggest you get part of it. That's amazing. 1:15, Razorback Drumline performance at the Wild Band of Razorback statue. That's the giant statue outside of the stadium. 2:30, Hogtown closes it down, and then at 3 is the game.
Kick off, baby.
So there is the schedule of events.
So I'm seeing something here in the live fan feedback I want to bring up because I think it's a fair question. I think it's a really good question. Jay Burrows, which if you're new to the show, Jay, hey, welcome in. Don't recognize your name from seeing you from the past, but if you've been here and I just missed it, then that's on me. Why is LSU and Clemson still ranked? Clemson, I have no clue. they were ranked, I believe, 9th. They lost to an unranked team. I think they dropped to 24, 25. Now, LSU, I can kind of see them still being in there because that was 2 teams both inside the top 10. So I don't think you can expect LSU to drop all the way out of the poll, losing to another team that is inside the top 10 with them. So I think they fell. I think I saw that they fell from 5th down to 12th. And I think that's fair because, like I said, Florida State was a top 10 team that was ranked, and that was a neutral site game. It was in Orlando. If you remember last year, it was in New Orleans. So, I don't have a problem with LSU staying in the poll. Clemson is more of a head scratcher. I think that is simply basing it off of the name on the front of the jersey and giving them benefit of the doubt just because they are Clemson and they have had, several great years. I saw a stat that said there was a run of Clemson from like 2014 to 2019 where in that 5-6 year span, they had lost 7 games. And then in the last 2 years alone, or 2 or 3 years, they have lost as many games in the last 2 years as they did the previous 7. Now, normally that, when you're winning as much as Clemson is, that's not quite as big of a deal. But the one glaring difference in that run that they had when they were going to the national championship, beating Alabama, losing to Alabama, beating Alabama, that run where they had Deshaun Watson and Taj Boyd and Trevor Lawrence and all those guys. The difference is Brent Venables is no longer the defensive coordinator. So Dabo really seems to be struggling without Brent Venables being his defensive coordinator. And I think that's something you're going to have to watch with Clemson for the rest of this year to see if it makes as big of an impact as it did last year.
Just testing my audio. Can everybody hear me? Give me a thumbs up.
Gotcha. I didn't lose you a while ago. I could still hear you, but obviously some of our fans could not hear. So that's our bad. We'll fix it. Ronnie Beulah, continuing with the feedback. We're down from 28 to like 35. How
I've been having issues with my internet out here, so y'all bear with me.
Well, and let's not forget that there were storms in Little Rock today, so it could be something about they're trying to work on the internet connections.
Hey,
down
there we
there
go. I just tested our audio stream. Sorry about that.
All right. But I'm not sure which poll you're looking at. The only one I saw, we were still we were like 3rd in receiving votes outside of the top 25. So I think that was the AP poll that I saw. Coaches poll, it wouldn't surprise me. Here's the thing on those coaches polls. Okay. Those are not actually coaches that vote on that. That is one of the flunkies.
It's the
SID.
SID.
It's SIDs. It's SIDs, or it's a flunky for the coach who takes it to the SID and then they submit it that way. But I mean, these coaches, they've got enough going on with their own teams. I think you could do away with the coaches poll and not miss a beat.
Okay, so I got to bring this up because we've had a history of this. We've had a history of this, but I want to stress this. Cody, tell me why we deserve to be in the top 25. We beat a nobody.
Well, and there weren't that many teams ahead of us that got beat either.
No, but I mean, I'm not saying I don't want us in the top 20 because I do, but I want us in the top 20. I want us in the top 25 when it matters at the end of the year. Right now, we saw this last year, and I believe we saw it the year before.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we hit SEC play, we were in the top 25. Hell, we were a top 10 team.
Yeah.
And the wheels came off. So, no, I disagree. I disagree with you, Cody, because I don't feel we should be in the top 25. We have beat a quality opponent. Okay, and everybody's argument. Well, look at who all. I don't think Clemson should be ranked. I don't think LSU should be ranked. Again,
I'm okay with LSU staying in. Because when you were having your issues, I made my statement on that because they did lose to another top 10 team. So that one, I could see them dropping to 12, 15, somewhere in that range. But for them to drop from number 5 all the way out of the poll, I mean, they would have had to have lost to Duke, basically somebody like that. if Baylor had been ranked and then they lose to Texas State, you pull them completely out.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I like Carolyn's comment here because we've said it before on this show. She says, I like when we stay the hashtag underhogs. I've said it before. Zach has said it. We've had guests that have agreed with us. Arkansas always seems to do better for football. For football, when the expectations are low, that's when Arkansas seems to make their move and they jump up and they have a 9, 10, 11 win season. When you come into the season with the expectations high, that seems to be when we kind of as Zach said, the wheels kind of come off the wagon and things go south. Look no further than last year. Came into the season a lot of hype, a lot of people's dark horse team to possibly win the West. Things go, they just,
we fumble on the 1 yard line.
Yeah, that just really turned the whole season. And that game, how many times have we looked at that Texas A&M game and it basically lays kind of a path for how the season's going to go? I mean,
you're not wrong.
So many times.
You're not wrong. So Casey Sutton wants to know, which poll should we follow, guys? It's a good question. Okay, so there's two that I follow. It's the college football playoff poll that the committee puts together, just to kind of compare, and then the AP poll. Anything beyond that, I pay no attention to it. None. Zilch. Nada.
Because I don't ever look at the coaches poll at all.
Because it's all opinionated from then on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the two that I watch. And even then, I saw on Twitter that I don't even think we should do polls until week 4.
Well, there's a reason that the one you mentioned on the playoff.
Welcome back, Steven.
There's a reason that it doesn't come out until a few weeks into the season. And I agree with that. You're basically going off name recognition.
Well, it's
early in the year.
Yeah, it's like the BCS polls this early in the year.
Yeah,
the whole East Coast bias. Jay Burrow's a good friend of mine. First time watching, I do believe, but he says TCU got pulled out, and I'm going to get in trouble for this, but that's what she said. Hey.
Anyway.
That's what happens here at Inside the Hog Pen. You never know what I'm going to say. We're a different team this year. We don't have the poor secondary we did last year. And if we had a better secondary last year, we would have had a better outcome. That's fair. Yes and no. Yes and no. I think that plays a part in it. But at the same time, healthy KJ. Healthy, mature backup quarterback. Because again, I circle that Liberty game. In red permanent marker because he never should have played it down in that game. All right.
Yeah.
Malik Hornsby should have taken that game and said, hey, this is what I can do. This is why I deserve to be QB2. And he didn't do it.
And we hope that this doesn't happen. But if you come up into a situation similar to that this year, I feel a lot more comfortable with Jacoby Criswell in the QB2 role than I did with Malik Hornsby.
Yeah. I feel a lot more confident than I did. I was a little, you and I talk about this off the airs. I wanted to see how Dan Enos did coming in game 1 and the statement that he makes and see how Jacoby does, because it's all dependent of that quarterback play. My other half is in the building, people. I have to really be on my best behavior.
Yeah, you really got to behave now.
And the boss is in the house. Hi, honey. Stephen G says, I think replacing Bryles helped y'all a lot.
1,000%, man. 1,000%.
Love you like a brother, man, but duh. Cody Blasco once again says Hornsby would be a better receiver, and that's what he was supposed to be. But again, he pitched a little temper tantrum because he wanted to be the guy. And it didn't work.
Just sometimes recruits just don't work out. And that was one of those that just didn't work out. I wish him the best down at Texas State. Looks like he's going to be QB2 down there based on what happened in week 1. It is what it is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Matt Hart comes in. He's got a really good point as in regards to last year.
Before you jump on that one, I want to hit Ronnie Buelos first. Because
hit Ronnie. I didn't see Ronnie. That's my bad.
No, you're good. He says, I have a take you guys may not like. I think offensive and defensive coordinator from last year was a huge problem. No, I
agree.
I'm 100% on board with this one.
Yeah.
I'm 100% board on this one because that's what you want. You want somebody to blame. That's who you point to. You don't point at Sam Pittman, which, by the way, I have a nitpick about the fan base when it comes to Sam Pittman because I saw something on Facebook that just irked me.
Oh, I know where yeah.
Oh, y'all, my soapbox tonight's not going to be nice. So just be prepared. I've had a day. No, I think it's a very big
I would
problem.
agree. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Dylan even caveats to that, says, I agree with Ronnie. Both coordinators were distracted shopping for jobs. Look, man, when you come out on Twitter and you post this big thing and says, run it back, go Hogs, and then not 24 hours later, you're introduced as TCU's new offensive coordinator.
Not a good look.
No.
But
anyway,
hey, we're in better hands now. We've seen what Dan Enos could do when he was here before. We saw a lot of similarities in the way he called that game. If you look at our first scoring play, which was the second play of the game, that little wide receiver screen, how many times did we see that work with Brandon Allen to Drew Morgan? Drew Morgan, former guest of Inside the Hog Pen.
Coach out at Elkins High School, I believe.
Yeah, the Elkins Elks. Shout out to Elkins Elks. Matt Hart, we were banged up after Cincinnati. Catalan and others went down early. Yes. The injury dominoes started falling early last year. So we'll see if, hopefully they don't fall as hard and as fast and as swiftly as they did last year. Now, granted, we've got, Rocket Sanders is going to be out a minimum 2 weeks, maybe 3. Sam Pittman made that statement earlier tonight on his weekly radio show. But, we heard all summer about how deep the running back room is. AJ Green, Rashad Dubinion, Dominic Johnson, and Isaiah Augustine in the running backs. So there's a lot of guys there. They've been really hyped up. We'll see if they can carry the load for these games that Rocket is going to be out and keep defenses honest to where they can't just focus in on KJ. And, basically I'm kind of wondering now if we're going to see a flip. Western Carolina really kind of keyed in on Rocket and decided that they were going to make KJ beat us throwing the ball. So now with Rocket out, do the defenses start scheming to stop KJ and they make one of these unproven running backs step up and prove that they can be the guy?
See, here's the thing. I think as far as the running back room goes, MC, I've got to disagree with you.
Okay.
Although all of these guys are kind of already proven.
To an extent.
To an extent, they're already proven.
They're just, they don't have the recognition that Rocket has.
I was going to say, I think the biggest question you have to ask is, can they carry the load that Rocket's got?
But when you've got 3 guys to split it among.
Remember last time we had a head running back with Darren McFadden. You had 2 other guys to back him up. Okay? He was your head guy. But your backup, Felix Jones, your number 2.
Felix could go for 180 on you in a heartbeat as well.
But again, he had more yards per carry than Darren did.
Yeah. He just didn't have as many carries.
There you go. See, we need Rocket for the SEC schedule. Yeah, I agree. Cody Blasco, I love this back and forth. Tell me why you disagree. Tell me why you disagree, Mr. Cody. Tell me. I want the smoke. Bring me the smoke. I want it all. Does KJ run it more in this game? No.
Not this one.
No. Not. Here's the thing, and I said this. I said this prior to the season. Dan Enos strikes me as the kind of guy, the kind of offensive coordinator that calls a play, and that's your primary play, and that's the one you go out and you set up for. And then he says, "Okay, KJ, read the defense. If it's this, here's your play. If it's this, here's your play." And he gives him a list of like 2 or 3 or 4 different plays to audible out of
from the same formation.
The same formation. If he sees something in the defense that Enos didn't, But I don't think you're going to see a run-heavy KJ. I think you're going to see a more pass-heavy KJ, not particularly in this game, but I think over the course of the season as a whole, you're going to see a more pass-heavy KJ because Dan Enos is that kind of quarterback development coach. I said that.
Yeah, I would agree.
I said that all kinds of backwards.
So
KJ,
I got
what's up?
I was looking at Ronnie Beulah had another comment here. I was wanting to get
Coach
to,
P's. Let's see which one.
Right above that. Yep. Said running wasn't a main focus in game one. I did hear that, and it was basically one of those of, hey, we're going to take what the defense gives us and try to be successful with it, and they were. And we pointed out earlier in the show that we've not always been able to be successful when our running game got shut down. So I like what I see so far.
Yeah, I like that. And he also says, "Oops, sorry, MC, I didn't mean
Sorry,
to."
man, we're both hitting it at the same
right.
time.
The running list is our running room is straight, big, and fast. I agree. Dylan says KJ changed the play protection a lot last weekend, and that's what he needs to do.
Yeah,
that's what he needs to do. You know.
Well, and when you're not trying to snap the ball within 7 or 8 seconds from the previous play, and because we saw the play clock run down inside of 10, sometimes inside of 5 seconds before we snapped the ball, which is something that we had not done under Kendall Briles very often at all. I like that because it does give you time to change protections, to possibly change the play completely. And that's just an aspect of the offense that we haven't had the last few years.
Ronnie says we average 200-pound running backs. We good. It doesn't always mean that doesn't always mean something.
Well, it just means that we don't have the little scat backs, like a Fred Talley type, that maybe not big in stature, just really, really quick.
So I want to touch on this for a minute because this is kind of a big one. Carolyn Williams, Razorback girl, says, "Face it, in year 5, I think KJ has the green light to take off anytime he wants." Yes and no.
Yeah,
because you always want to protect your quarterback. I think that if he has a lane, kind of how he saw that play in the red zone break down, where he stripped the ball back.
Yep.
I think that is more conducive to what you're going to see rather than him being. And I heard this a lot last year. Him being playing stingy ball and running it instead of throwing it to a receiver. Dylan Madden says, "Shout out to War Memorial for not having clock issues."
I mean, that's the one positive thing we can say is that there was not a clock issue this time.
Oh, not to add insult to injury, but I just got a Twitter update. Oklahoma just scored another touchdown on Arkansas State. Bye-bye, Butch. That's all I'm going to say. Ronnie Beal says they mean that he understands the defense, which can make him more dangerous. And he does. Year 5, he needs to. He needs to understand the offense.
Hey, look, this is his money year. He's got to show. He got feedback from the draft last year that was not favorable. That's why he's back again this year. And he's got to work on those things and show those scouts that he can do what they think he can't do.
Yeah. And I think that's part of why he went to San Diego and trained on the beach and got faster and better. For KJ does not need to run. Sounds like I'm reading out of the Bible. For KJ does not need to run against these non-conference schools. They need him to be healthy for BYU and SEC. And why I don't think we need Rocket because he dances too much. Don't get me wrong. He had 1,500 yards last year. But we have AJ Green and Johnson. And I agree.
And I think part of the issue Saturday was not just with Rocket, but I think all of the running backs from what I saw, I think they were all trying too hard to go for the big gain rather than just taking the 5-6 yards that was there. They were trying. Everybody was wanting to break one, and it just didn't happen.
All right, we're going to take one more break, and then we're going to wrap it up here on Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Razorback Zach, Marcus, MC Carlton holding it down here in the pen on a Wednesday night. Whoo, boy. This was fun. We need to do more these more often.
This was fun. Appreciate everybody sticking with us on this extended edition of Inside the Hog Pen tonight.
I want to throw a poll out there before we get to the score predictions. We've been debating on when to if we need to move Inside the Hog Pen back to a Friday night. Just to kind of see where, feedback-wise, what day would you guys like? I mean, what day would you guys like to be inside the Hog Pen? I want to know. So, there you go. All right, score predictions for Kent State and Arkansas. MC, what do you have? And give me one hot take.
Score prediction, I'm going to go 45-13. Hot take. My hot take is going to be that AJ Green is your leading rusher with 135 yards.
Okay. All right.
Not sizzling hot, but on the warm side.
I'm gonna go along that little path there, but I'm gonna stick with mine. I'm gonna go 58-10.
Okay.
58-10, 56-10, somewhere there. And I'm gonna say that Tesla runs one back.
Oh, okay. Tesla. Okay. Not Satania, but Tesla.
Satania.
Satania. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Let's go one more time over here. Cody Blasco says, "Can y'all see Arkansas and Tennessee in the SEC title game?"
I'm not ready to talk SEC title. Would I love it? I would love it.
Realistically,
I don't think anybody's getting past Georgia in the East. I just really don't.
It's too early to tell.
Yeah, it's early. It's
too early to tell. Oh, my boy Paul Anthony's in the house. What's up, Paul? Long time, dude. Cody Blasco says, "Go to Friday."
So yeah, we want to hear what you guys think. Which night is more convenient for you guys to come in the Hog Pen? You don't have to answer right here. Take your time, think about it. Put it on the on our Inside the Hog Pen Facebook page. Just let us know.
By the way, September 23rd, if you guys haven't noticed, September 23rd, Little Oktoberfest coming back to War Memorial Stadium, and we're going to be there for the third straight year, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas. Go to littleoktoberfest.com to get all the info. All right. So, I got to do this because I just, and it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be nice.
Let me say one thing. If you're going where I think you're going, go solo because you need center. You need everybody's eyes on you for this. If you're going where I think you're going.
Well, I'm going two different ways, MC.
Okay. All right.
Going two different ways. So, first, we're going to go non-sports. Is there no decency in the world anymore? I noticed today on my drive home that it took me 45 minutes to get home, and it's usually a 20-minute trip. But, storms roll through, this, that, and the other. But I noticed that there was an accident there on one of the main thoroughfares there through Little Rock, because I know most of you guys aren't from here. And one lane of traffic, nobody was letting anyone from the affected lane over. Nobody. And the blinkers were on, and it wasn't like we were waiting till the last minute. It wasn't anything out of there. But nobody let anybody. There's no decency in the world anymore. Like, nobody cares. Come on, y'all. We only got one life to live. Now, I'm going to go this route.
All right, that'll work.
Saw on Facebook the other day. And that post has been taken down. I spoke to the admins of the group, and it was in the Hawg Sports group, Matt Hart, Adam Hall. And I tried to bypass this and just kind of write it off. But it irritated me so much that I had to say it on my show, and I had to comment it on my own show. Because here's the thing. Arkansas won the game. There were aspects of the game that weren't pretty. I give you that. The experience itself at War Memorial, outside of the play on the field, wasn't that great. So why is it that Razorback fans can find the littlest thing to bitch about? By the way, Chloe, if you're watching, you may not want to be around your mom. You may not want to repeat it to this, by the way. I saw this post, and this post said, not to be, and whenever you start a post, this is not to be negative, not trying to be that person, you're being that person. You're being what you don't want to be, all right? But they said, maybe we should recommend another exercise program for Sam Pittman because he's out here looking like he's got man boobs, okay? Just saying, not trying to be that person. Here's the thing. To whoever wrote that post, shut the hell up. That is the most immature, insensitive, disrespectful thing you could have ever said. Okay? That dude's lost like 80 pounds since he's been here. All right? So maybe the shirt wasn't conducive. No big deal. All right? It happens. But for you to come out and put that on social media and then run and hide when you get torched by Razorback fans, come on. That's why my final thought tonight is there's no decency in the world anymore. All right? But there is, Paul. There is. Trust me, she was torched, and she was torched good. And I'm not going to go into detail. But guys, I get it. The world has gone to shit. But we've only got one life to live, and that's it. And then whatever deity you believe in, which, again, we all have different beliefs, and that's fine. But whatever you believe in afterlife, that's what's next. And sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. But we've only got one life to live here, man. And everybody agrees. The world has gone to hell in a handbasket very quickly. Why would you post something like that about your head coach? Why out of everything, why would you post that? I'm not going to name it. I have the name of the person, and I'm not going to name the name because I'm not stooping to her level. But I had to say this. Don't be making posts like that. All right? I don't want it to be made about me. I'm not the most muscular, good-looking dude on the planet, and I know this. All right? Because let's face it, you polish a turd, it's still a turd. But you don't, and again, I don't give a damn what he looks like. Everybody saw Bielema without his shirt on. Nobody said anything about that because he couldn't win. Save his life. Couldn't get above 500. I don't get it. I don't. And again, decency, just a little bit of shred of respect. I know for a fact, because I follow him on Twitter, I know for a fact that there are some takes that MC puts out there I don't agree with, or I think it's too far. But guess what? I don't give a damn. I went up a couple octaves there. Holy crap. There's posts out there that you don't agree with. There's posts out there that you're not going to agree with. You're not going to agree with everybody. This world ain't sunshine and rainbows. feel like I'm who's the one the rest of the story? Who was that?
Oh, Paul Harvey.
Paul Harvey. I just look, y'all. We got to come together, not just as a fan base, all right? Not just as a fan base, because there's a lot we can nitpick from the game on Saturday. As a whole, there's a lot we can nitpick from the game on Saturday. But to go after the head coach about the way he looks, are you kidding?
It's cheap. It's cheap shot. Cheap shot.
We've got Kit Kat cereal and Little Debbie cereal, and you go after the way someone looks? I just, little human decency. Again, disagreements are going to happen, all right? Amongst the fan base, disagreements are going to happen. But here's the thing, and let them happen. If they happen naturally, let them happen. That's the way we grow as a fan base. That's the way you learn about other fans within the fan base. But the minute you make it personal, all bets are off. The minute you make it personal, all bets are off. And you open yourself up to a world of keyboard warriors that I guarantee you 90% of what you guys say on Twitter, not all of it, but 90% of what people say on social media, they'll never say to the person's face. I guarantee you, if that person that made that post about Sam Pittman ever met him in person, they would grovel at his feet. I just don't. We don't have time to bicker about the way somebody looks. Because I promise you, you're gonna look in the mirror tonight and you're gonna realize that there's something about yourself that you don't like. I know this because I do it every night. All right. But you got the balls to go after somebody else? I don't understand. Social media, and again, I'm not trying to take up too much of you guys' time, but y'all know this is my outlet, and this is a damn good way for me to spew the bullshit off my brain. And this is it. I've tried to get past it. I've tried to get over it, and I want to hear from you guys. If you're struggling mentally, I've been there, dude. My DM is always open. If you can't get a hold of me on my personal Facebook page, shoot me a tweet, hit me up on Instagram, or hell, DM the page. One of us will see it and reach out and make you guys great. All right. But I'm begging, don't go after the way somebody looks. All right? Because guess what? Take away the skin, we're all the same on the inside. That's why donors get this. All right. Little quick story. I know we're wrapping up here. I promise I won't take up too much of you guys' time. Say you got to have a bone graft. All right. Or you got to have a heart transplant or a kidney transplant or a liver transplant or something. They don't bring you, and I'm gonna drop I'm gonna drop it. Okay. But it needs to be said. They don't bring you a white donor list and a black donor list and a Latino donor list. Okay? They bring you a kidney. They bring you the liver. They bring you the heart that you need to live. Okay? And sometimes you don't know where that kidney came from. But you don't say anything. Nobody bats an eye. Nobody worries where it came from. They're just glad they got it. Anyway, we may do a pregame this week. I don't know, MC. What do you think? Should we do one?
To be determined. To be determined. I have to make sure. Oh, I got a cameo. Got a cameo. My youngest jumping in.
Little MC is in the house.
Yeah, definitely on the table. We'll talk about that, and then if we decide to do one, we'll throw it out on the Facebook page to give everybody what time we'll be on, and I promise you we will definitely step away in time for everybody to get their chips and dip, their cold drink, and be ready for kickoff at 3:00.
Let me we still got a couple people hanging around, and I want to jump in and make some more. And MC, excuse me, I know you've got to bounce here in a minute, and that's totally fine if you need to. Let's scroll back over here. Jonathan Parker says Sunday or Monday, since the game will still be fresh on the mind. Friday night would be hard with all the high school games. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
we've been
that's
debating
tough
doing
with the high school games.
So for most of you that don't remember, back in the early days of ITHP, we had Fan Reaction Sunday, where it was an hour show to where we can just air our grievances and our praise about the game the day before. Debating bringing that back, but MC and I will talk about it and figure it out. Wednesday night's better. Too much going on a Friday night, and I agree. Pittman won't run up score that much. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a topic for another time. That's a topic for another time. I love Pitt to death, but he's got to quit doing that. That's all I'm gonna say about it. And then we get into the more serious comments from my soapbox. Paul Anderson says, "I guarantee you, there's plenty of material on that person to make fun of as well." There is. There's quite a bit, and some people took advantage of that. It's only getting worse, but by God, football is back in Fayetteville on Saturday. Thank the heavens above.
Yes.
Carolyn Williams says, social media has made bullies out of people who can hide behind the anonymity, and it proves. Cody Blasco, you don't disrespect our coach. Why does it have to be about being fat? If I was fat, I would do the belly row in the street. I don't care what people think, but that person who wrote that will never be the man that Sam Pittman is. I want to take this and frame it because
that's pretty funny, Cody.
God,
that's pretty funny.
That's good stuff. I'd pay money to see him do the belly roll anyway. Eric Jernigan, the world is full of keyboard warriors. And I'm not trying to pull CM Punk here, but I'm the voice for the voiceless. I don't give a damn. I'll say it on my show, and I'm not afraid of the backlash because it needs to be said. Sam Jones, whoever made the post can eat a baker's dozen of Richards.
Think about that one. It'll make sense.
I'm a little slow on that one. I'll
text you. I'll text you later if you don't get it.
There it is. Cody Blasco, respect to you, Zach, for making a point. A lot of worthless people in this world. Hey, like I said a minute ago, I don't try to make it personal. I don't try to get up here and find things to bitch about. I call it like I see it, man. And I try to make this world a better place. I try to leave my impact on the world when I leave, you know? Because I'm telling you now, dude, that wreck back in November changed my life. Made me see things in a different light. Paul Anthony, will you be at the game, Zach? Yes, I will. I will definitely be at the game. Sam Jones, it don't matter a damn what a coach looks like as long as come Saturday the team looks good.
I agree.
Again.
All right, so Zach, I'm gonna have to jump because I got dad duties I got to go take care of. So
we're wrapping it up here.
Everybody for jumping in tonight. We went way long. This is an extended edition. You guys stuck right there with us to the very end. I hate that I'm the first one to leave the party, but you know, as much as I like my boy Zach here, dad duty is gonna pull rank.
He can only take me for so long, yo. I can only.
Good night, everybody. Y'all have fun.
Later, MC.
See you.
I'll wrap it up here. I'm rolling solo. Man, I haven't done this in a while. Wow, my face got a whole lot bigger and a whole lot uglier. Cody Blasco, Sam is by far the best coach Arkansas has had and personality. I agree 100%. Carolyn says, I'll explain it to you after. I'm scared. I am. But there it is one last time. Kent State at Arkansas, September 9th, 3 p.m. SEC Network. That's going to do it for us, or me for that matter. Next week, I don't know if we're going to do a pregame show. I'm going to try to do a live shot from the stadium. Again, technology's being iffy. So I will do my best. But if I don't, I will try to definitely do a fan reaction Sunday just for you guys because you guys asked for it. Until then, same Hawg time, same Hawg channel, same loudmouth son of a you-know-what. Next week, until then, you've been watching an all-new episode and listening to an all-new episode of Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Until next time, so long, everybody.